Welcome back to Mega Man X6, which is 28 minutes. Oh, there's a cutscene in this one, isn't there? Alright, so today we fight either a holy man or a necromancer. I can't quite tell, because he's also a shark. Alright, so Metal Shark player stage is a crushy stage.
Ready?
Alright, so what do you got for us, Alia? That's Recycle Lab, yep, sure is. So yeah, this is essentially a Reploid graveyard, though. A Reploid graveyard where they tried to figure out how to repurpose old corpses into new Reploids. Oh, but Ollie's not getting a signal from the Crusher, which means it's a Nightmare Crusher. Ooh! X looks so... What is that expression? I was gonna say mad about the right armor, but like... The mid-animation I just could not read the emotion of. Alright, so you get to use the right armor here for like 10 seconds. This is not a significant part of the level. What's up, Alia? Okay, so... She's just mentioning, yeah, there's a whole lot of garbage, and the compressor is doing a terrible job of actually crushing this stuff down. Now that being said, I feel like, for some reason, they show that this thing won't crush you if you're in right armor. That's the only explanation I can think of why I did not die there, because I did not have room. However, seconds after that, you realize that is not actually a significant mechanic, at least not for now. Because, yeah, you just immediately have to abandon the right armor, so, yeah. Quick thing of note, if you are standing up while the Crusher is active, you do not auto-crouch. However, if you're crouching when it's actually over you, you will stay crouching. You don't need to hold the button down. But yeah, no, it will not auto-crouch, don't expect it to, or you'll die. Also, don't wedge yourself between the Crusher and the ground at any point, which might sound like obvious advice, until you realize the reason I bring that up is, to say, also don't do that if it's going up. Yes, that's right, you can be crushed by the Crusher when it's going up. Mega Man X6. Love to be killed, by a thing going up. Love to slowly get uncrushed by something. X just, like, fits his toe into there accidentally and explodes. He really has no pain tolerance. Why do you think I'm doing no hit runs? It's for X's sake. Look, if X has to deal with any amount of pressure whatsoever, he crumples immediately. Anyway though, yeah, I feel like this is one of those stages that a lot of people bring up when they say this game sucks, and I get it, but I also don't. I don't know. It's an annoying stage, and there's a whole lot of insta-death everywhere all the time. So it's probably a matter of perspective that I don't immediately despise this, because, you know, the result of me getting hit and me getting crushed is all the same the way I do these LPs. So, like, it didn't faze me as much, but yeah, no, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud instead of playing it, no, that fucking sucks ass, actually. It's just a whole stage filled with insta-death, and again, if you are too eager to move on ahead, and you accidentally move into a platform as it's going up, then you do just die. Alright, so here we are in the secret section of the level. I'm gonna have a big rock in order to actually access this area. I also am pretty sure you can only do this particular part as X, By which I mean, these guys first. Yeah, I don't think Zero's quite able to make it past this pit. But, you know, X and a few of his abilities are able to. We get to save a person, and also get some armor from Dr. Light. Oh, and we get the Shadow Armor, which is this game's version of the Gaia Armor, in that it's a cool idea and is not very good in practice. As opposed to the other armor we can get, which is a bit better. Though, admittedly, Blade Armor was so-so in the previous stage. I'm a little burnt on it, but I think that's more just because of the boss, but I don't think anything could have helped me with the boss. I think that boss just breaks my brain, and I just can't. So anyway, yeah, there's ride armor for this section at least. The optional Another Area does have some ride armor, which is good. And you're definitely gonna want to take it, of course, because this is a conveyor belt stage. And you know what? You already have to deal with the conveyor belt, so why deal with most of the crushers when you can just, I guess, have the ride armor hold up bits and pieces of this thing to prevent yourself from being crushed to death. That being said, hopefully something happens soon. Cause this is a little boring. It's kind of a nothing section. Like, even if I weren't using the ride armor, this wouldn't be that bad. But the ride armor is very easy to pick up. And it's kind of making most of this trivial. The most I have to worry about is being crushed by the edge of the screen if I'm too slow, and that's it. Well, I guess while we're at it, previous stage was... oh, I think it was Weapon Center, right? So that means... Ah, yes, of course. The nightmare effect that I have to mention for the Weapon Center is Nightmare Dark. It gets dark in rooms. Oh no. The horror. Can you stand up to the sheer horror of the Nightmare virus? I don't know if you can. I simply don't know if you can. Hey, look who it is! So, Dynamo's in this game, and you never met X. You liar. Nightmare Souls, baby, they're great! Love these things! I chugged them down! Dynamo, I don't think you're supposed to drink those. Okay, so Dynamo here is a lot more difficult than he was in X5. He is entirely optional, even when considering the Another Areas. He doesn't really net you anything but Nightmare Souls. But yeah, like I said, way harder, and I'm relying more on hitting him with his weakness, because basically he has all of his attacks from X5 just cranked up to 11. So you kinda wanna trap him in a loop like this, though he's still pretty tough in that he likes to jump about, especially if you've hit him with his weakness. Be very careful. Honestly, given the way this weapon works, I don't think it's really worthwhile trying to, like, get a double hit on him. If it's gonna hit him twice, it'll probably do that on its own. But trying to go in for a double hit yourself means he'll probably just flip kick your face in. Jenna. Anyway, there goes Dynamo. He's left. We don't kill him. So yeah, like I was saying, even in terms of Another Areas, Dynamo's optional. Cause yeah, fighting Nightmare Zero gets you 0. Fighting Hymax gets you access to the final area. All Dynamo does is give you souls. That being said, anytime we fight a boss in Another Area from now on, it's going to be Dynamo. So he's basically just here to keep you busy anytime you finish another stage, if you've been to, you know, the other two options before. And then, He's also there to help you grind Nightmare Souls if you really need it. If you really want your rank to go up. That being said, though, yeah, now we're back to this stage. Thank you, Ride Armor. I really wish we got to use you more in this one. You go, Zero. Cause yeah, the conveyor belt section in the Another area is just really boring. I feel like even this would be at least a little more interesting with a Ride Armor than that was. But then again, I guess you wouldn't really get much of a challenge in that case. I don't know, I feel like the Ride Armor is ultimately kinda pointless in this stage. Cause yeah, thinking about it, second half of the stage is really boring. Now granted, part of that is... it's just a boring setup. Like, even if you don't take the Ride Armor, it's just kinda dull. There's a conveyor belt there, but it adds, like, nothing. This, however, is a little more intricate in how it's set up, which means I can at least keep a little more engaged on this one. But yeah, otherwise, the Ride Armor just feels kinda pointless. Also worth noting, I believe the Nightmare Blue blocks are not able to be destroyed. Zero's equivalent to the rock attack that we use to destroy those blocks is his, like, down attack, where he does kind of a slide. Down special, rather. So, if you want to get rid of these... Nope, not that one. There we go. I find that tricky to pull off for some reason. I don't know why, but, whatever. Okay, no. Black slides. I want to say the blue blocks do the same thing, though, but I'm not entirely sure. I usually didn't bother with them, because I don't think they're destroyable. Whoop, oh god. Real daredevil here. So god, I really hate that enemy setup right there. Oh yeah, by the way, the Another area is not optional. You have to go there in Metal Shark Player stage. Or one of them, anyway. The other one is optional. This one is not. Also, it's not quite Another area because we can speak to Alia in this one. Uh-oh, that wacky nightmare's at it again. It's making a conveyor belt go, oh no! And are you sure about that, Zero? I don't know. I feel like you're trying to engage the player, but like... You're kind of forcing it there, Zero. You know what subject I haven't really mentioned so far? The music. And one of the reasons I haven't mentioned X6's soundtrack very much is it's kinda dull. I'm gonna level with you. I don't even remember if I've heard a track I like that much from, like, the stage themes. Some of the music's fine. Boss theme's fine. I think I like the first stage's theme, but yeah, no. Anytime I've chosen, like, the, what did you call me for this, Alia? That seemed entirely pointless. Anyway, though, yeah, like, anytime I do an end slate, I'm just like, okay, was I not paying attention to the music, or was it just really boring and it just kind of went in one ear and out the other, and it's... So far, it's just been all... yeah, no, that was forgettable. It hasn't quite been 14.5 minutes of listening to this song, but it's one of those where I don't even think I remember this song right now, and I'm listening to it. I'm listening to this song as we speak, don't know a damn thing about it. I've already forgotten it. Can't believe the Reploids are resistant to crushing. Then again, no, I shouldn't make fun of that, because if they actually decided to make Reploids crushable, then the stage would have gotten worse. Speaking of stage getting worse, here's the mini-boss. This guy's not honestly that difficult, he's just annoying. Keep up with the conveyor, be careful of bombs, eventually this guy's going to drop a thing. The trickiest thing about this boss is pretty much the fact that it's kinda hard to avoid that thingamajig when it comes down. Like, you don't really know if it's gonna come down from the center or the sides. Depending on where it comes down, it has a few different attacks. Oh yeah, it'll try to, insta-kill you sometimes, that's fun. Also, for some reason the blue dots are destroyable, and I can't reach the purple dots from that side. So we gotta wait for him to do this, shoot some lasers, and finish him off. Now that probably was easier thanks to Zero's damage output, which is, as always, very good. And now we have the boss. Alright. Here comes the biggest pile of scrap around. Wow, okay, that's rude. Alright, so... fun fact about Metal Shark Player. It's one of those names that's actually constantly translated like this, and I'm surprised I don't see more people complain about the fact that technically in the Japanese version, his name's Metal Shark Prayer. Though, to be fair, I feel like the reason for that is Metal Shark Prayer and Metal Shark Player are both equally ridiculous names. They're both kinda dumb. Also, damn, Zero, he's insulting your DNA. But yeah, that's why I say he's perhaps a holy man, but really he's more of a necromancer. But I mean, he's all for praying. He has been praying, and well, you might. Anyway, okay, it's a bad stage, but an easy boss. He's level 3, and, like, the worst thing he can do is throw an anchor at me. Like, when he throws the anchor, that's kind of unpredictable. It'll kind of linger around the stage for a bit, and then he'll probably try to attack you with something else, and then eventually the anchor will boomerang back. He did not, in fact, do that in this run, so the stupid little thing that kept tripping me up didn't even happen here, which meant this battle was very much a joke. I feel like he's more likely to do it if you try to stay high up on the walls, and I didn't do that for that run, so it worked out better for me. He just kind of mostly did a slide to try to throw garbage at me, did a hop to do the same thing, that didn't work either, and yeah, now he's dead. So, remember how Hymax can take you to the final area? You mentioned that earlier. Well hey, guess what? Collecting souls also lets you get to Gates Lab too. So yeah, all you need to do that is 3,000 Nightmare Souls, which is pretty easy to do if you can fight Dynamo. He drops a bunch of them. I feel like a lot of the reason this is here is because this was a thing in X5, either because you hit the bad ending route, or you 360 no-scoped Eurasia early on. You could go to the final area early, but that just feels like it was actually better tied to the game itself. Like, it's sort of the natural conclusion of the way those mechanics work, that you can just go to the final area by using the cannon, and then the space shuttle, and then however the pieces fall from there, that's just on RNG. I don't know, it just doesn't feel as natural here. To be fair, it is still tied to mechanics, like it's tied to the another area or the Nightmare Souls, but it just feels less interesting in that respect. I guess it's there for speedrunners, but I don't know. I also feel like it's less entertaining than 360 no-scoping Eurasia. It also feels like it's only really a good ending thing because you're almost guaranteed to find Zero if you do all the stuff early. It's hard to find all the Nightmare Souls without getting Zero, and also obviously you have to fight Zero if you're also going to fight Hymax. That being said, I am glad that we don't get locked out of this ending, or this cutscene for this route, just because I fought Hymax earlier, because this one actually explains how the Nightmare virus works. It is basically just a zombie ghost for robots. If you get hit with a virus, you basically just get changed into one of those floating nightmare guys. Just overwrites your entire sense of self. And also, if you die, it doesn't necessarily disappear. You might still linger around as a ghost. I also find it amusing that we're calling these, like, oh god, what was the wording she used? Like, artificially created virus? Like, yeah, no shit, it's a computer virus. Technically, the Sigma virus would have been the same thing. But yeah, there's a lot of important stuff in this cutscene, though, as always, it's incredibly boring to look at. And also, we've just cut Zero in here. Does the X version of this look different? Do we actually, like, not just stare at half of Alia's face for most of this? And so yeah, for collecting 3,000 Nightmare Souls, Alia figures out that, yeah, it's probably Gate. He's probably doing the thing. But as it turns out, Alia was actually once Gate's partner. Also, I'm glad we're getting a different scene. Please give us different CGs to make these cutscenes at least tolerable. But also, damn, that's a cute Alia though. Gate also exists. Gate also exists, and his chin and mouth are on the right side of his face. Excessive risks? Kill them all. It sounds so vague. I don't know, I feel like it's just a case of, like, Gate was an overachiever, so, you know, everybody got on his case, because it seems like, so far from what we've seen, a lot of the reasons the other Reploids have died, the investigators, is just completely arbitrary. Somebody just said, "Fuck ya, Mark," and sabotaged him, and so he exploded. They're like, damn, Rady Turtleoid has a good defense? Oh, we can't have that. Kill that man. Except they didn't need to, because he did suicide. I feel like Shield Sheldon is like the only character that I can reasonably think. Yeah, okay, that's a situation that wasn't just some jealous people. But that being said, the way this overall plays out makes it seem like this game is, in part, about eugenics, but also a really angry programmer who's been slighted, and therefore he's locked everybody out of his old research, and nobody else knows how he does things, so, like, they can't figure out what to do now that he's locked them out. But also, okay, that's, like, reverse eugenics, though. Like, he's trying to create the ultimate Reploid, and trying to just create a utopia where only Reploids he deems worthy exists, but also, philosophically speaking, he's like, I want to make a Reploid that can't be analyzed. Which, like, is kind of the opposite of what you'd want from eugenics, because, you know, normally it's like, I want to create a human being and know exactly what's going into that thing. It all needs to be perfected. Anything I deem inferior just is not allowed anymore. And, like, that part of it's true, but yeah, no, just the... I don't want anybody to be able to figure out the nature of these Reploids. I guess he does want to create a Reploid that's incredibly similar to human beings, though. But yeah, see, right there, he only wants a nation with high-end Reploids. He wants to make his eugenics land. I don't know, I guess I'd chalk it up more to just like a selfishness thing. He's a scientist who wants, like, only his work to be recognized, but he doesn't want anybody to learn from him. He does not want anybody to be able to figure out what he does. Honestly, from the sounds of it, like, he supposedly turned evil 3 weeks ago. I feel like he's probably been evil all along, actually. Like, I don't know, Alia. I feel like maybe you were working with a bit of a bastard. I think even pre-Nightmare Virus, he was, a bit shit, we'll say. We're coming for you, Gate, but not for like another few weeks. So yeah, once again, that would unlock the final area, but I'm not doing that. Hunter rank Paw. Alright, well, we get a bunch of stuff, but obviously the only thing I'm interested in is how Metal Shark Player died. Actually, that's a lie. I do like the sound of Saber Extend. Give that to me. He studied recycling, which sounds completely normal. And then you get to the next sentence where it's like, oh right, yeah, he's looking at corpses. It's all very macabre, overall. Just, alright, here's some... They specifically say Maverick, so like... I guess this is what happens if you're a criminal in the X series. Your corpse might be recycled into a new Reploid that hopefully is not evil like you were. Also, yeah, he was straight up going to get the death penalty. I don't know if he did get the death penalty. The way the game words it, it sounds like Gate was like, oh yeah, death penalty? No. And then Metal Shark Player just walked free, but I don't know, maybe he got the chair. Who knows? Ah well. That's it, that's the end of the episode. Metal Shark didn't have a prayer. He's dead. Perhaps somebody will figure out what to do with his body, now that he's gone. That is morbid though, jeez.